And welcome to MBC News. I'm your news anchor, Dooza Dragonash, and here is our marvellous team for this week. That's Sigmund Learminster.
Good evening.
Malburn's writer.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, tomorrow, whenever and wherever you are.
And editorial clarity.
I'll just say a simple hi.
Thank you, Eddie. Right, well, this week saw International Women's Day, and all over the world, women have been marching, gathering, holding events to mark the 100th anniversary of International Women's Day. From the US to Iraq, they've been marching, and we shall be talking more of this later in the programme.
And in the UK, the country's leading distance learning company, the Open University, is announcing 2 international conference events that will be hosted on their Second Life islands. Now, the first is called Relive 11, or Relive 11, which is short for Researching Learning in Virtual Environments, and it's a follow-up to a 2008 conference, and you can find details about that on www.open.ac.uk/Relive08. Now, the second conference is the Next Virtual World Conference. This is at www.thevirtualworldconference.org.
Oh, what's that about, Sigmund?
This is it's a fairly general conference, and in fact, for anybody who's interested at this point, they're still looking for speakers, but it's really mainly about education within the virtual worlds, but there will be opportunities for commercial interests to be there, and it seems at the moment pretty wide open. So, as I say, if anybody's thinking of doing a presentation, maybe we will, then there's still some openings, I think, for people to take part.
A new report from the US National Sleep Foundation suggests that 43% of Americans between the ages of 13 and 65 say they rarely get a good night's sleep. And one reason may be that 95% of them use some type of electronics like a television, computer, video game or cell phone at least a few nights a week within the hour before bed. So, here is NBC's secret to joining the other 57% who get their rest. Hit the 2 keys, Control and Q, simultaneously. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Linda nabbed it up for me already.
And now it's over to Mal for Tech Spot.
Well, thank you, Dooza. Just a few quick items this week, in fact. First off, the Kronos Group have released a free Collada Conformance Test Suite. Now, for those of you who are interested in Second Life, and indeed other sort of virtual worlds and game authoring, Collada is the format that Second Life will be using to import meshes. And basically, this conformance test suite that you can download for free will actually allow you to test out meshes before you bring them into Second Life. So check out the Kronos Group. That's CHRONOS for more about that. Talking of Second Life, there is yet another version of Second Life that now runs in the cloud, and it's being brought to you by a company called Spoon. Their address on the web is spoon.net, and spoon is as in the thing that goes with your knife and fork. And they offer, it's currently free to play via their website. You have to download the plugin, and then it loads Second Life, or attempts to load Second Life into a browser. At least it does if you're on Windows. How this fares compared with the Geikie one that Linda and Lance did themselves, I'm not quite sure, but worth testing out, I think. And a very interesting thing, and hopefully we're showing you a little clip of this right now, a very short clip. A company in Denmark called Geminoid have shown us for the first time a robot. A sort of fully functioning human-looking robot that you will see in the clip that's playing. Right, and finally, the CryEngine, which is a very popular engine used in video games and indeed in some virtual worlds, has Well, it will be upgraded shortly to CryEngine 3, and at the Game Developers Conference last week, they were showing it off, and it has had very, very, very good reception indeed. And lastly, back to Linden Labs. They've announced today that on Friday, this coming Friday, at 5 a.m. Second Life time, they will be starting a kind of reboot of the inventory systems in Second Life, and they're warning people that they may be unable to get into Second Life for an hour or so while they rebuild the inventory. So that's about it. Back to you, Dusa.
Right, so how will we know that they've rebuilt our inventories? We'll be able to get back in, with or without it. God hopes, with it.
We'll probably log back in, okay, and then find we haven't got an inventory full stop. You never know. Or maybe we'll get all our lost inventory back and not be able to find our existing inventory.
This is rather scary, isn't it? I want to put all my inventory into something and then, put it somewhere safe.
Every time Linden Labs announce something like this, you get this nervous tremors running through you, kind of thinking, oh Lord, they're playing with something again, fingers crossed. We'll see.
Right, well, okay. And now for these messages.
Micropets, we take product development very seriously. Spending years in the laboratory, toiling over the land, developing the perfect habitat. Why? For this little fella and this little lady. Breedable piggies. With love. From Micropets.
And welcome back. In a press release, Remembering Our Friends Memorial says that it's gone back to basics. Mike Burley, founder of ROF, has announced that ROF will once again focus on its core function of being a memorial to remember the friends and family who have passed. Four Bridges Northeast will now be called Remembering Our Friends Memorial once again.
It's been Carnival Week in the Second Life virtual world, with a 6-day carnival held in the Munich and Cologne Sims, echoing the real-life carnival held at the same time, and Mardi Gras Ball being held at the Mossy Knoll, reflecting the traditional New Orleans festival. As well as these, there was also a real-life carnival in Nice, with huge screens of Second Life carnival parties being simulcast, which attracted many spectators.
Well, Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
You were packed off to a carnival this week, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. On was Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yeah, on Sunday we was at the Munich, the Germany in 3D carnival here in Second Life.
It was Monday, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it was on Monday.
Then. Yeah. It was then. It was so long. But yeah, we went to this to the Germany 3D carnival, which went across about 6 or 7 sims. And it took about 3 hours long to do it, and we was broadcasting it live on Metaverse TV. You was there, Dusa, and Mark Montague as well was with us, and it was actually quite a lot of fun. It was my first time at a carnival in Second Life, and it was actually a lot of fun. I don't know if it was because we was just like broadcasting it, but no, I thought it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of cool floats that was going by as part of the carnival, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it actually ended a lot quicker than I think we thought it would do. And then towards the end, they went into the Munich Sims, and then there was like a carousel and like a little fairground where they probably had a party afterwards to celebrate the carnival. But yeah, there was a lot of people there. It got a lot of attention. It was in the destination guide. So yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I
I'd
think
definitely
so.
go again.
Yeah, so I think everybody looked absolutely tremendous, and I really, really want to go and have a look at the Mardi Gras ones that are on this week as well. Earlier in the programme, we talked about International Women's Day, and there have been events all over Second Life, and NBC invited Rain Congrejo, organiser of Miss Ebony International, along to talk about international women and why we should celebrate them. Well, hello, Rain, and you are very welcome here in MBC Newsroom. It's really good to see you here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm all right. Now, the reason I asked you, and it was so congruent with what was going on this week, that I had to ask you to come along and talk about it, but you sent me a message about the Miss Ebony International contest later in the year, and it just struck me that it really fits in with what's happening on International Women's Day this week. So I wanted to ask you, why Miss Ebony International?
Well, being of a multicultural background myself, I felt that there were all types of women out there that have not really been represented here in our world, and I wanted to really kind of showcase the different diversity that we have in women out here. And so I decided to go ahead and start with my partner Divine Hunt, the Miss Ebony International, which we're looking for every woman that we can possibly find to represent the one woman that will actually stand the forefront and kind of represent all ebony women in the next pageants and over the next year for all of the lovely things we have going on.
Did you realize when you set off to do this that this year is the 100th anniversary of International Women's Day?
No, I was really, really surprised and, kind of did a little bit of homework in the background, but it kind of, I guess, just fell in our hands, which I have to say I'm kind of glad it did. After speaking with you and kind of getting a little bit of the background on it, I decided to kind of do some research and, I really love the idea, and it really does represent exactly what Miss Ebony International is about. And, when we talk about ebony comes in many colors, so I thought it fit quite well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what's been happening all over the world is they've been having these events, and women have been gathering all over the world, in sort of not far-flung, but, really bravely in places like the Congo and Afghanistan, Iraq, those sort of places. And this year, I think the theme is the Bridge of Peace. So tell us, how is Miss Ebony International going to work?
Well, basically, we're holding 3 auditions, and what will happen in those auditions, the ladies will send in their pictures. From those pictures, we have judges actually see the ladies and see which ones they actually want to call back to actually do a walk. At that point, these ladies are given the chance to walk the catwalk and pretty much show us what they have with their styling, posing, and we will choose from there. At the end, we will have 25 women on our stage and bring it down to the one that will represent Miss Ebony International.
And when you say that they will represent Miss Ebony International, what do you perceive their year is going to be like after that?
Well, we're hoping for a big year. This is actually our first year doing this, and it seems like we're already a success because people are like, I'm so glad you're doing it. It's about time. But just the upcoming years, there's, a big pageant that will be happening that Miss Ebony International will represent, and that is the Miss Virtual World, which we are fully delighted and great to be a part of that with Frolic and him allowing us to do that, as well as there's many magazine articles, there's many photo shoots we have set up, certain designers that will be involved with this person. So this is really kind of giving that person a step out there and kind of representing, the women of different diversity and different ethnic backgrounds.
How do you think that is going to happen? I mean, you've brought up this contest because you saw that there was a need for it. How do you perceive that it will widen the catchment area for women of of Ebony International, I think. International Ebony, I think.
Well, I think it's going to represent, and I think what people really have to understand, again, ebony comes in many different shades, and, ebony could be Latin American, ebony could be, Egyptian as well as African. So I think it's really kind of getting the women out there, and especially the women that are really not key and unknown into the fashion world kind of puts them out there and actually gives them a role model to say, hey, look at what's going on. Hey, look at what's happening. They've actually made a step into the world, and, maybe this is something I want to look into. I mean, there's more to modeling. There's, you can get into photography. You can get into production. There's so much to do, but at least it gives that person someone to look up to and see exactly what they're doing.
Do you think that the real life sort of corrals that exist prevent people from really moving forward, for example, in Second Life?
Well, yes and no. I personally, my background, I think the only person that can hold me back is myself.
Mm-hmm.
I do hear a lot of, because I'm this, because I'm that, I am held back. And yes, that does exist. Unfortunately, it exists not only in real life, but it exists in Second Life too. Mm-hmm. But you have to be able to overcome that and basically just keep moving forward. We all are here. We live here together, and we just kind of do the best that we can. Make sure that you answer, the questions as professionally as you can and as real as you can, and just be truthful and be yourself.
And what sort of limitations have you found in Second Life will happen? I mean, you saw a need for this, so patently people weren't coming forward to do it. I mean, is there a problem with the fashion industry in Second Life and women of color?
I think sometimes you do have a problem with, fashion in Second Life and women of color. Yes, I've had my own, trials and tribulations with that. But, as more and more people really get to see me, more and more people really get to know me and exactly, who I am, I think it's now really starting to open up, because when I decided to do Miss Ebony International, I did get, a lot of backfeed from that. And then it became, okay, I'm glad you're doing this. Okay, what can I do to help? And I still actually have people coming into my IM as we speak and saying, what can I do to help? This has been on the back burner for way too long. And we're talking about, from different nationalities. So it's really, really, I think, a good idea, because now really people are starting to take notice where they weren't before.
Absolutely. And I think it does fit in with the theme of sort of Bridge of Peace, I think, is the theme for the International Women's Day. It certainly is in the UK, and that's about reaching areas of conflict. And I mean, I think that personally, I think that can be spread out to all sorts of bridges between countries, and diplomacy and all sorts of areas for which I think virtual worlds are intensely suited. So that we can get to know each other first without any sort of preconceptions. So, Rain, there are going to be castings, going to be auditions. Are those entries closed now?
The first entry actually will close March 13th. We will close that at 12 noon, and we will actually start calling in the judges to actually do the walk on March 20th.
And if people want to know more about it, where do they find out the information?
Actually, they can contact myself, Rain Congrejo, or they can contact Divine Hunt, and we're sending the information out in many groups. BOSL and Frolic have been great, and so you can find it there by joining that group and the magazine readers and reading such a wonderful magazine. Plus, there are others, Star Walkers, models who work, things like that. So they can find that out. But if they really want to know details, they can actually contact me or Divine Hunt, who is my co-CEO.
Thank you very much, Ray, and thank you very much for coming into studio today. And
thank you so much. Thank you.
And in the spirit of equality, here is one for the boys, I think. A new book entitled What a Man Thinks About Apart from Sex is becoming a bestseller. And no one is more surprised than the author, Sheridan Simove, because all it contains are 200 blank pages. And when interviewed about the book, he said, quote, "After many years of hard work, I finally realized that men think of absolutely nothing apart from sex. It was a shocking conclusion, and I realized that the world needed to be informed of my findings," unquote. NBC's male staff, including myself, were asked to comment about the story, but apparently they were all too busy thinking about something else. I'm sorry, I was thinking about something else there.
Oh my God. Okay. And now for public service announcement. Over to editorial clarity.
Alrighty, Romance, a virtual dance show of modern ballet, will be presented by La Performance in Second Life. The premiere is on Sunday, March 20th at 2:30 at the Globe Landing Point. For more information, go to laperformance.org/show/221/romance. The MC is Eliza Sotero and choreography by G. Loon. With a host of performances, there will be performances through till May.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Probably not, because I wrote it.
Okay.
And I'm not making an awful lot of sense today, it has to be said. I'm celebrating my day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody, thank you very much. Thank you to all the team. And would you like to say goodnight?
I'd love to say goodnight and say that I love all international women.
And I'll just say it the Australian way. Good day.
And I'll just say good night, and I love ladies.
And thank you, and stay safe from MBC News.